Emerald Tyres, a company which was established in a very small way in 2002, has now become a very recognized name and brand globally in the off-highway and the industrial tire segment. They have been known as a very reliable and trusted service provider and solution partner to a lot of OEMs globally. Emerald Tyres has a global footprint of 70 plus countries, and they cater to most of the industrial segments around the globe. Today, in our interview, we have with us the Chairman and Managing Director of Emerald Tyres, Mr. Chandhrasekharan. Sir, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir, the world knows about Emerald Tyres and the industry knows about Emerald Tyres, but still nothing like you talking about your product and services. So we'll just start with that first. Tell us what Emerald does with regards to the products and services, sir.
Emerald is a company which is involved in manufacturing of material handling equipment tires. There's something called as on-the-road tires and off-highway tires. So Emerald specializes on off-highway tires.
Okay.
Basically, anything to do with material handling equipments, Emerald would have a solution.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, when we were discussing with you or interacting with you, you were talking more about solid tires. So, when you say material handling equipment, everything is with regards to solid tires, or there is also inflatable tires that comes into the picture?
Emerald started as a solid tire company, manufacturing company, but eventually, when we were approaching our customers, they wanted a basket of products.
Oh.
And as you grow, the only way to grow is to give a basket of product, and that's how we landed into manufacturing all kinds of products.
All kinds of product with off-highway.
With off-highway in focus. So today we do a little bit of everything in solid tires. We do pneumatic tires in the material handling application. We do skid steer tires. We also do something called as agricultural implement tires. So these are all coming under the family of off-highway tires, which we are slowly developing as the customer demands.
How has it been so far, sir, in terms of expansion and stuff like that? I mean, you would have started like 100 tires a month or 200 tires a month to probably what number is it right now, and where have you expanded globally?
Today, by far, we are the 7th largest manufacturer of industrial tires in the world.
Oh, excellent.
We compete with the who's who of industrial tire manufacturers. When we started, we were not expecting to go at this level. The idea was to make it small, like any other Indian company, do it small and keep your family going.
Okay.
But eventually, I had a very good team. My colleagues who joined us, they were all very aggressive. And as an entrepreneur, sometimes you think, could you take the leap? There's always a doubt. But I've had a team which always pushed me to go to the next level. So every time when I was in doubt, my team would be there to support me and take us to the next level. So that's probably one of the biggest reasons for the success of Emerald Tyres.
Sir, what do you see as a major challenge for Emerald in a very fast economic and pacing world that's going around, where things are changing pretty fast? One or two major challenges that you see for Emerald, and what you are doing currently to overcome those challenges? This can be anything. It doesn't have to be anything related to technology or anything that you see as a great challenge.
See, today the biggest challenge is that there are a lot of opportunities and you have to be quick to grab it.
Oh, okay.
So if you lose time...
So you're talking about the response.
The response time, not only in terms of product development, but also in terms of setting up new capacities.
Okay.
So today the world is looking at India as a manufacturing hub. So we need to catch pace, because otherwise there are other alternatives for a purchaser. He doesn't wait for you. He gives you one opportunity and you have to catch that opportunity with both the hands. If you can't, then you miss it forever. And in my little experience where we have been dealing with OEMs, you miss an opportunity once, then you never get an opportunity again. OEMs are happy to be working with a small set of suppliers. So when they are coming to you, you should be ready to supply them. If you miss that opportunity, then you lose. For us, we are right now all these years we have been concentrating on the replacement market because that's a low-hanging fruit. But going forward, if we want to make it big, then we have to look at OEMs, and that is where the challenge comes from. How fast can you grow? Today, many of the OEMs are coming into India for manufacturing. So for us, this is the time to move to the next orbit. So that's where we are concentrating, putting all our energies into getting into the next orbit.
Sir, why did a company like Emerald basically choose to go with SAP? You had any specific issues and problems with business? Because I think for the kind of experience that you have, a father being a banker and you being an engineer, and you had already mastered of how to run a business for a period of 5 years on the coil manufacturing. Were there any specific reasons for going in an application like SAP, or was there any issues and problems?
As a small-time entrepreneur, you always think that let us do it small. So when we started, we didn't have the entire gamut of things. Manufacturing was separate, accounts was separate, and then logistics, we were working on Excel sheets. So this is how we were managing things. But when we selected an ERP, which was an integrated ERP, but a very small company running this ERP.
So you had an ERP?
We had an ERP before we switched to SAP. The only issue with such kind of ERPs is the support system you have. And we worked with them for 5 years. We had developed the product, but one fine day, the company decided to get out of business. And we had limited time to switch over. That was the time we decided that we need to settle with an ERP which is stable and it does not depend on a few individuals to manage the entire gamut of things. That was where we decided to go with SAP.
Fine. So the idea, the reason was that you wanted to partner with a company which has a legacy of having an ERP over a period of time and also have a future.
Absolutely. Because I am not the only one contributing. There's the entire ecosystem is there. There are SAP derives ideas and their knowledge of things is much bigger than what I would individually give to a small-time ERP company. So there we decided this would be a long-term game and it is safer to be with SAP.
That's very well said, sir. Very well said. Now that you have selected SAP, sir, can you just tell us what kind of role does SAP play in ensuring the quality of your product? The way we have listed some of the aspects of the question is we wanted to know how does it improve your quality first, and then how does it improve your velocity, which means delivery times, and then how does it improve your ability to control costs. So we want to have a look at how does SAP help you to ensure quality of your products, because that's something that all our audience would want to know, because they want to ensure that the product that goes out of their factory is of the best quality, and if there is a software solution like SAP which can ensure that. So something at a very macro level of how does SAP ensures quality.
See, Emerald today works on SAP in every front. Be it procurement of raw material, be it manufacturing, be it quality approvals or dispatches, and then invoicing and reconciliation, accounting. Everything is on SAP. So this is a big advantage as far as a company is concerned. So you are not depending on one to the other. You don't have an accounting package separate, you don't have a manufacturing package separate, all are integrated. So that helps. The second thing is with the IoT happening, Internet of Things happening, it is with the knowledge of the partner, we are able to integrate a lot of small things which we are doing in the factory to the SAP system. So like, if I am delivering, issuing material from my warehouse to the manufacturing plant, and from the manufacturing plant, if it is being consumed, different materials are being consumed in different proportions for the tire. Everything gets mapped in one system, and I am able to track from where the material started to the tire. So even 5 years down the line, if I have anything to look back, the data is available in the system, and we are able to backtrack every operation from purchase of raw material to the day it was dispatched, and every aspect of business is integrated into one software. So that's the biggest advantage we derive out of SAP.
Okay. And if you'll have to say SAP has contributed something towards controlling cost, do you have any use cases of that? Does it really help you to control cost? Because when I interacted with you during the early days, when you were shortlisting and solution like SAP, you said that there is fierce fluctuation in raw material prices, especially rubber, and availability was also a big issue. So has SAP anywhere contributed towards controlling cost?
Our costing department entirely works on SAP.
So the entire department works on SAP. So it also helps you understand, like, if there is a tire which rolls out of the factory, you know accurately what it should.
At the end of the day, invoice size, we will be able to take out
a report.
So that's the biggest advantage we derive.
Sir, with regards to implementing SAP, did you have any challenges that you faced with your people? Like, how did you prepare them? Or were there any challenges? Because wherever we go, we always get to hear this, that there's a bit of resistance. So did you have some kind of experience of that sort?
So we had a small team who was involved in the process of implementation, and this team had an experience with a previous ERP. So what mistakes we did there, we knew what we needed to avoid. So from that learning, and with emerging alliances cooperation, we were able to put it on track at the earliest. So that was where we had the advantage. We understood where things could go wrong, so that's how it was easy for us to integrate things.
Completely supported.
Yes.
On implementing in here.
Absolutely.
Is there anything that you did specific for a change management, like, okay, we're going to get into SAP, these are the things that we'll have to change, like organizationally or process-wise?
This has to be top-driven. So if it comes from the top to the lower level, then implementation becomes easy. And since...
what you mean to say is the stakeholders have to be involved.
Absolutely. The management has to be involved from the top. So if that is there, then implementation is easier because the direction is very clear. If each department is going to work by itself in silos, then implementation will have its own challenges.
So the stakeholder becomes one go-to person who brings all the departments together.
Absolutely.
Having individual.
Absolutely.
That's very well said, sir. I mean, we had a lot of case studies that SAP gives us, or Gartner tells us, where an ERP basically fails when you do not have the top management or executive management participate.
Absolutely.
Excellent, sir. That's very well said. A few questions on scaling the business, sir. Now, in our previous earlier talks, you said that how did you scale up to a particular place? I know that Emerald has already scaled globally. Probably you have a factory which is running out of South Africa, and there aren't any countries where you haven't put your geographical footprint. I understand that you're in the US, you're in South Africa, you are at South America, Australia, Asia Pacific, everywhere. So when you scale such a large business, how do you see SAP helping out in this particular scaling process?
So what we think is that because SAP is a global product, implementation would be easier. So my warehouses in Europe and the US could run on the same platform as we are running. My dealers could be also brought onto the same platform.
At a macro level, what you're trying to say is, duplication of the good processes that you've established here in India and replicating them in other parts of the world becomes easy when you have something like SAP. That's
Absolutely. Yes.
And since there are features which helps you to collaborate with your customers, as you said, part codes, there might be different part codes. You maintain your legacy part code, which gets collaborated or integrated with their part code. So things that was easy to explain. Okay, that's very well said, sir. Talk to us a little bit on your SAP implementation experience. Okay, and where did you think that the EA Emerging Alliance really played a crucial role in helping you implementing in SAP successfully?
When we spoke to SAP in Bangalore, they gave us a couple of options. Emerging Alliance was the first option we talked to and we decided with you. And at the end of the day, we believe that we understand our system well. And if you understand SAP well, then the mistake would be only from our side of not putting our thoughts properly. So because we had our experience in the past of implementing an ERP and we knew where exactly we had gone wrong, when we interacted with Emerging Alliance, we exactly knew what to ask for. And because with Emerging Alliance also the senior management team was involved, it was quite easy for us to take it forward. So we didn't think of too many options, because when you look at, and I always believe that looking at too many options only crowds their minds. So we didn't want to do that. We discussed with you and we went ahead, and that's how it happened.
Say if you have to give a bit of advice or some key takeaways that you want to advise your fellow CEOs or CXOs or entrepreneurs who are planning to go in for an ERP, not specifically SAP, even for an ERP, what would that be like? How to choose an ERP solution, or when implementing, what should you basically consider? What would that be?
See, as an entrepreneur, you think that you will take one step at a time. So you want to go small and then try to make it big. But now we have an opportunity. If you know your business well, you have an opportunity to grow big in whichever domain you are. So when you have the thought of growing big, it is always better to be around people who are stable and who know their business. I believe that SAP knows ERP well, and that is why we thought that we should go with SAP. So when you set your vision high, it is always better to have someone stable with you. Either it be your employees or it be the process, the machines or the software. So all have to be stable, all have to be future looking.
Correct.
So SAP is one of that. I mean, the ERP has to be future looking, and you can't sit on the drawing board every day and keep telling your service provider that I need this and I need that. So the service provider has to do his job, we have to do ours. I can look at manufacturing, SAP does what they have to do, and when they roll out new features, it's only our job to adapt it. So that's where I would suggest that let us not experiment too much. If you want, and definitely you have to have an integrated ERP. If you have one module, every module, manufacturing module separately, accounting module separately, and you have the inventory module separately, then marrying them is a headache. It's better to go with an integrated software. So that's as far as ERP is.
That is like how do you choose an ERP? Now, if you have to say something like these are the 5 do's or don'ts that you will have to do when you implement an application like SAP. At least one or
basically the partner with whom you work.
So that's key.
So that's key, because he has to be flexible.
Correct.
He should be because as far as ERP is concerned, how much ever we do, even after 6-7 years of application, there's something new I need every day. So and if your partner says this is it and nothing more, then and in the same company, I look at data in one way and my colleague looks at data in another way.
Correct.
So, as a service provider, it becomes imperative that you provide data to the user in a way that he needs it. So that is something which is very important. You need to have someone who is there with you all the time and is flexible. As far as the ERP itself is concerned, it should be a robust system. You are working on it tomorrow. Whether it be hardware or software, it collapses and you have your entire data sitting on it.
Exactly.
That is where name a brand matters. An evolved ERP would be something which work and you are safe in their hands. These are the only two things which we thought are important. Integrity of the service provider also, because you almost share all the data with the service providers. So everything is there.
Yeah.
So that is something which we thought we should look at. So these are the three things which made us quickly move.
Fine, sir. Thanks.
I am done.
Thanks.
Thank you.
And my pleasure meeting you over here today. Thank you, sir.